have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on...
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day and a marvelous Monday evening. Scott Wetzel, Day Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours right here on the grid until 10 p.m. Eastern time. You know, John Lennon once sang a song that included strange days indeed as part of the lyrics. College basketball bettors tonight are singing strange lines indeed, as we'll test Mr. Sharapan's knowledge in sports handicapping. Yes. NBA rematch at the OKC Corral tonight. How high can we go in the NHL? NFL team wants to ban the tush push in the NFL. Of course, here in my house, the wife banned the tush push a long time ago.
Hey.
Whoa. What's going on, Mr. Sharapan? How are you today?
Great. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, what's going on in the Wetzel house? I have no idea. But yeah, the tush push. Listen, when stuff works, especially when it works over and over and over, and people can't stop it, you know, they try to legislate it. You know, that's what's even going on in the sports betting space. There's all kind of things happening story-wise with that. We'll at least talk about the games for the next 2 hours. Yes, it's a rematch. Yes, OKC didn't cover yesterday, so the line is bigger, but the total is smaller. So that'll be interesting. Interesting college basketball games early on, at least. The Michigan-Nebraska just tipping right now. Like a side or total in Michigan, Nebraska. I was on Michigan. Matt was on Nebraska earlier today when we did BVB. I'm kind of leaning over. K-Dub like the under all over the place with this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the over. Although great trend here. One of these trends that I had to take a look at, and I meant to double check, because Michigan is 9-13 against the spread as a favorite this year, which is not great, but it's not over the top awful. But supposedly 0-8 their last 8 games as a favorite. So when I see that 9-13, that doesn't look that crazy. But 0-8, maybe it is their last 8 they haven't covered. So that tells you a little something. But they are 6-2 on the road this season. But I like the over. I thought we were going to get some points, 150.5 or so. Michigan score with the best of them. We saw Nebraska the other day go over with Rutgers a week or two ago. You know, they could put some points on the board. Kind of moment of truth for Nebraska. You know, they're 17-10. all these teams, Dave, that are in that 17-10, 18-11, 17-11, they all need those signature wins. So I think you're going to get a monster effort. It's pick 'em, or basically pick 'em anyway, 1.5. But I think points on both sides, so I like the over more than anything else.
Okay. Well, it's all starting to happen, right? This is when it does at the end of February, beginning of March, where teams play their way in or kind of play their way out. And I think with these mega conferences, I mean, the SEC is going to have a whole bunch of teams in. People talking about 11, 12, 13 teams in. The Big Ten is vying for position. The top of the Big Ten, I mean, you're getting 4 or 5, maybe 6 for sures. And then after that, they're fighting for a spot. The Big 12, though, I mean, I don't know. We've been talking about it for weeks on here. And again, if you're watching the show live, tweet at us at Opposite Picks, at SportsBK, and say, tag SportsGrid, let them know you're watching. But Houston, over the weekend, got Iowa State, which was part of Opposite Picks. Got lucky. A couple guys for Iowa State got sick, didn't play, whatever. They're playing Texas Tech tonight. Wetzel, this line is, like the kids say, this is sus. This is very, very sus.
9 straight wins for Houston on the road in the Big 12. They paid them homage this weekend with that number, which is a great, 9, that is good, right? But it's kind of like once you start bringing stuff like that up, it does tend to go the other way because other teams get all pumped up and this and that. And Texas Tech, although probably on the right side of the bubble, but still looking for, as many wins as possible. No doubt that place is going to be rocking. They're 14-2 at home this year. That should be a great game. I'm going with the under. I always play Houston under games.
Yep.
They're about 500 over and under, but they're low scoring. And Texas Tech 5-1 under their last 6 at home. So, it's funny that I and maybe later on it's a relatively light night. We'll have some time. I just glazed through all the conferences, right? You had 37 at-large bids, and I was pretty liberal. Just, okay, this conference has 3, this conference has 4, this kind, And believe it or not, when everything is said and done, I came up with 36 teams, and there's 37 at-large bids. Yeah. Now, if you look at the SEC, there's starting to be, some teams that are dropping off. It's no longer like they're going to get 11 or 12. So I think I gave them 10 total, so 9 at large. Yeah, and I still only came up with 37 or 36 actually, and so we'll go through it maybe and we'll test it ourselves. When I'm breaking down the schedule and all that stuff. But there's so many at large bids now.
You're adding like Wetzelology, Wetzel bracketology to the arsenal of stuff to do. Like this is outstanding. Yeah. Listen, it worked for Lenardi. We could start doing it, right? I mean, you got 36, there's 37 spots. Sure, we can either, talk about it a little bit in between the stuff we got going on tonight, address it a little more tomorrow. Maybe we'll have the boys, build a couple graphics and stuff for tomorrow by conference. I like this. This is good. This is exactly we used to do this because we had odds on teams to win the conference. So we had to figure out if there was a way to move it, So if you have like just the odds to win a championship, that's one thing. And there was movement in that. Like, look at these teams. This is the second page. St. John's, big win over to Missouri, big loss. Arizona, I don't know. That was not a foul at the end of the Arizona game against BYU, but they lost that number. These numbers, there's 5 teams on that list that I think you could actually make a case for at least getting to the Final Four. And these numbers, look at the top 3. How low do you go?
That's amazing. I didn't think there would be numbers that low, but clearly there's a little separation there with the Dookie Pukies in Auburn. I think the consensus top 4 is Auburn, Duke. You see the numbers there, Florida and Houston. I think those are the best. Then Tennessee, then everyone else, the Tennessees of the world, from 5 to, we'll say, 15, St. John's and all those others, all really good teams, and may make the Final Four. Who knows, right? It's rare when all 4 number 1 seeds, all those number 1 seeds make the Final Four. So chances are one of those are going to lose. But I do think there's a consensus that, Dave, those are the 4 best teams in college basketball. Yeah. So, but we'll say, as I said, not many times you kind of one hand really. How many times all 4 number ones? So, one of those 4 is going to lose, Dave. But those are, like I said, I think those are the consensus top 4 teams: Auburn, Duke, Florida, and Houston.
Yeah. I would say that 3 number 1 bids will come out of those 4 teams right now. I don't know which one's not going to be. A 3-game losing streak, I can't see that happening for Duke. They'll get a number 1 seed. Auburn's body of work, I would have to argue that they're going to. And if Houston wins tonight, it will really ice their position, barring whatever happens in a Big 12 tournament. They'll probably end up as a 1 seed.
Yeah. And I don't think they would go 3 deep in the SEC like there was some buzz about that earlier in the season. You can't have 3 number 1 from one conference.
No.
I'm sorry. You can't do that. So so we got a couple college basketball games we'll take a look at. We got 2 hockey games. We got a few NBA games. We'll do it all over the next 2 hours actually here on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 just underway.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the Grid. Scott and Dave just getting underway. Hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza. A little NBA, a little college basketball, just 2 hockey games after a big weekend. A bunch of overs hit this weekend, which was nice because we were all over that. Figured they get a little bit of a jump after having 2 weeks off. So we got one game, Dave, in the NHL. I do want to bring it up because It was a crazy spread. All right. I saw minus 520. It's down to minus 430. No score midway through the first period. Winnipeg at home looking for their 10th straight win. San Jose is just atrocious. Worst team in hockey. Literally, whether it's points, records, whatever the case may be. Goals allowed, they give it up the most. Goals scored, they give it up the fewest. I mean, it's just a train wreck. And it's funny because every day we have Cam on. He's telling us, the San Jose Sharks, and Dave, they're good. They're getting better. They're doing this. They're doing that. Yeah, they're losing, Cam. They're losing every single night. So, like I said, it was minus 520. I saw maybe even minus 530. But what'd you think of that crazy line? Minus 410 right now.
I saw 550 out here, and I laughed. Yeah, 550. Listen, this is the time of year, right? It's after the All-Star break, after NBA, and after the All-Star break for NHL. We'll have the trade deadline for the NHL, and we'll see if anything happens. But the lines are going to get big on the Dogs, and it's really, really hard to get a bet on the Dogs. You saw it yesterday. Celtics, big favorites against the Knicks, easy winner. Then you saw it later that afternoon. Warriors, big favorite against Dallas, win and cover. Over the weekend, the hockey games there was no gigantic spreads, but the totals did. They got pumped up and they all still went over. There's nights when you're sitting in a book and there's only 2 games and you go Winnipeg at home. What do you make it? I mean, I don't know. They're going to win, or they're probably going to cover the puck line. How do we get somebody to bet the Sharks? Like, legit. You have to make the price whatever you were thinking and add like $1. So if you were thinking 4, you got to put up 5. The trends, look at this. 18 straight losses to Western Conference teams. And then you got the Winnipeg Jets 12-2 in their last 14, 9 in a row. People read these trends. People watch the show. How in the hell is anybody going to bet the Sharks after seeing that, Wetzel?
Yeah. And, I didn't think about that, but that's true, right? The fact that this is the only game in town. So if you're a hockey bettor, you have the one other one, but that's, later on. That's a 10 o'clock or 10:30, actually, right. 10:40 Eastern time start. So if you're a hockey bettor, you only got one. You're right. That probably has even more people willing to bet Winnipeg.
It's a parlay piece. You like to call it. It's in, let's put this in the money line parlay with, North Carolina or, if you like Florida State, and then Kansas later today, Kansas against Colorado. I mean, Colorado's terrible. So they'll probably put, Winnipeg with Kansas. I don't know. You can't get a bet on the other side. So you see ridiculous prices.
Even that, I'll put it in with, Vegas and the LA Kings are basically picking Vegas a slight little favorite, minus 115, right? So you can bet Vegas minus 115 if you put Winnipeg right now in a parlay at minus 460, 430. All it's doing is moving it to plus 130. I mean, it's it's a little bit of a movement, but is it really worth an extra 35 cents to risk Winnipeg actually losing this dopey game? Like, we've seen crazy things happen before. It's not worth it for me. I just assume just give me Vegas then. That's okay.
A lot of people might try to do puck line. They might do the regulation move, right, to just reduce the juice a little. But the books are aware of that too. The price isn't that much better. It's really not. So, this is a hard pass. I mean, unless you really, really like Winnipeg. But Sweat knows minus $5 is not always fun, and it's really a lot of work. And I don't know if it's worth the reward. So I don't love it, but I wouldn't take the Sharks. I just find something else to bet.
Yeah, like maybe a little NBA. Do you have the rematch? There's the NBA for you, right? And I almost feel bad for them. I really do. Yesterday, we had the big hockey thing, right? All last week and the championship game on Thursday, and everyone's talking hockey all weekend long. And the NBA says, all right, give us our day. Let's get back into the grind here. We got Knicks and Boston Celtics, good rivalry, 2 of the best, 4 teams at worst, depending on how you view the Knicks, in the Eastern Conference. And it's 38-19 after 1. ball game over, no reason to watch at all, right? So then they say, all right, you know what? Okay, that happened. We got Golden State and Dallas, and I know there's no Luka, but still it's Dallas and Kyrie and the new look Golden State Warriors, and they're leading by 15 after one and by 20 or whatever it was at halftime. No reason to watch that game either. I mean, just, the two headline games, and it was just dud city for the NBA. And that's the NBA, sadly. That's it. I mean, crazy. So,
well, I mean, hopefully the slate tonight, there's some games that at least will be interesting as the Sharks score, by the way. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, Vincenzo, if you see a goal in that game, let us know with the goal horn, because now we're fully invested. Now there's probably a deluge of money coming in on the Jets. What's the adjusted price?
188.
Okay. Yeah, minus 180 here. Much better laying 180 than it is laying minus 550. But Denver and the Pacers, good game. Denver's leading 64-58 at the half. Denver closed minus 6, so sitting right on the number. I got to ask you, only because I saw it. It was $2. $2 to get in to see the Bulls play the Sixers today in Philly. That was the get-in price.
Tweet that out.
$2, but the fees was $2.93. How can the fees be more than the ticket? What's wrong with them?
How is that possible? How is that?
They're down 75
possible?
to 58. They're down 75 to 58.
This team. This is why we took them with the second half under. There was no way in the world they were going 13 and 15. No way in the world.
But this is going to be a Bulls win.
I know. And I'd rather have the Sixers win because we have room to give with the Sixers. We don't have a whole lot of room with the Chicago Bulls. So, but we'll look at some of the numbers, some of the other games when we come back. Big Game Live, Game Day. Same game parlay coming up next as well.
Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, and welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. 24 past the hour of number one. You know what time it is? Little SGP, same game parlay time. This is yet to really test one of our systems tonight, boys. Every once in a while, you just got to test the system. You really have to challenge it, and that's one tonight. So we're going to head out west. Little NBA action where the Sacramento Queens host the Charlotte Bobcat Hornets. So where we go? What god-awful team are we picking? We're going to go with Charlotte, which lost by 53 the other day to Portland of all teams. 50. It's the classic, just absolute classic day bounce back spot. I don't care how bad you are, unless you're the New York Knicks. You have to bounce back from losing by 53 points, right? You just have to. So give me Charlotte plus the 11.5 at Sacramento, which is only 3-8 their last 11 against the spread at home. And don't ask why, because Charlotte's been pretty bad, for the last 4 or 5, 60 years. I mean, when haven't they really been bad? But they do own, believe it or not, an 11-4 record at Sacramento against the Queens, as we like to call them. So give me Charlotte plus the 11.5. We're going to go under 233.5 because Charlotte is the number one under team in all of college basketball. So if they're going to win, chances are they're going to play their game, or at least they're going to cover. So let's go under. We're going to go with Yusuf Nurkic over 7.5 rebounds, minus 130.
Wow.
I don't get this line at all. If you wanted to play another line or another, one of these individually, this would be it. The dude averages, he's only been on the team for 4 games. But in the 4 games since they acquired him, he's had 8, 10, 8, and 8. I don't know. Last time I checked, that's more than 7.5. So let's go over 7.5, right? I mean, and then we're going to use Miles Bridges, who's been on fire. 20 points. We'll adjust his line. It's 23.5. We'll move it down to 20. He's had 20 points in 10 of his last 14 games. And then Bridges, 2 or more threes. He's had 2 or more threes in 5 of his last 7 games. His scoring has really picked up. So Bridges, couple on Bridges, couple on Nurkic, the under, and then Charlotte, and it pays almost 10-1. Well, 9.5 to 1, plus 964.
I put the dark glasses on for this one because I'm just not sure. I can't believe that you got involved in this game. This is great for us. It's great for the show. But this wouldn't have been on the list of games that most people will bet. I love the fact that you got involved in this game because there's gold. There's opportunity in every game on the board, even a minus 500 or whatever the Jets closed. They're still down 1-0 after 1. Keep an eye on that, Jets. This looks good. Although, did you got the total under in this game?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I went under. Charlotte's an under team. I know Sacramento's an over team, but I have Charlotte, covering, so I'm thinking they're going to play their game. Second, I said they're the best. Second best, actually. 34-21 under this season is Charlotte. Second best in the NBA.
Okay. But they give up a lot of points. Did you see what they did the last game? They give up all them points.
I did. You see how many they scored? They scored like 60.
Yeah.
Now I need a little more balance there. I need not as much scoring and then a little more scoring. But 233 points is a lot of points. I generally go with the team I think, whatever team I think is going to cover, then I'm going to have that game be played the way they want to play. And that's a lower scoring game. And when you give up that many points, again, it's the bounce back system. You get embarrassed, lose by 50, give up 195,000 points. You would think the coach is going to read them the riot act, unless you're Tom Thibodeau, and the team plays better next game. As good as Charlotte can play, anyway.
Can't hear.
Nothing? All right. So, listen, some of these aren't public. Some of these aren't PPs, public plays. Some of them are off the radar. So we're going to go off the radar with this one. Why not? Let's go with Charlotte. And the good news is in some places it's down to 11. So does that mean anything? Well, I'll tell you, it was 11.5 this afternoon, and somebody's betting it if it's down to 11, right? So Why not? Let's go Charlotte Hornet, Bobcat Hornets as they flip back and forth with their nickname. San Jose is leading 1-0, Dave, after one. They're still getting plus 142. The one that's attractive is now you can lay a goal and a half plus 175. That was laying a goal and a half minus 175 to start the game. So back in it. Check out the other NBA games and the more college basketball league. Come back in-game live, GameDay on the grid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one, midway through. Here until 10 p.m. Eastern time, as we always are. Little NBA, little NHL, and some college basketball with our good buddy Colby Dant, who joins us from time to time. The College Experience podcast on the Gambling Podcast Network. Check it out on all your favorite little podcast stores. What's going on, Colby? How are you tonight, bud?
I'm great. I'm getting, excited for these late night games. Got a lot of action on the board right now, and obviously you inch closer to March, and it's just for me, it's the best time of year, man. So I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. It's funny. I was telling Dave earlier, and he'll join us in a few here, that I just, for the first time, just kind of scanned through all the conferences and saw how many teams I thought, and I thought I was pretty liberal at large bids. And Colt, I came up with 36. And there's 37. Now, I didn't give 15 to the SEC, but, I thought I was pretty, like I said, liberal, and I still only came up with 36 teams. So all this bubble talk and this and that, and, it's been a while since we've really had a team get really screwed over. There's so many. Like, you might get a team that's 18-11, 19-12, not get in, but do they really, really have a reason to gripe? Probably not. So, but I don't know. The importance of these games certainly gets magnified this time of the year, though, right?
Yeah, and to key on your point earlier, I mean, there's speculation of this tournament growing to 96 teams, which I'm against, and I think majority of the people are against. But Greg Sankey, which is kind of like the leader in college sports because the football money in the SEC, he's the SEC commissioner, and I feel like he is, really pushing for this. So I'm willing to take one for the team and just say put the whole conference in this year, put the entire SEC in. as long as we don't go to 96 in the future years. Does that sound like a good deal?
That sounds fair. One time only. Yeah. A couple of games, two teams that were, bubble teams, at least one anyway. North Carolina, they've won 3 in a row. They've won 4 of 5, almost left for dead. Talking about firing Hubert Davis and all this other stuff. And they're up 12 right now at Florida State, 63-51, 15 minutes left, high scoring game. What'd you think of this one? And where would you go now, if anywhere? Laying 11.5, big number.
Yeah, I went with the Tar Heels, but I didn't really have much conviction with it because the number was shorter than I thought it should have been. Right now, I think at the end game, I'm seeing at 11.5. I think you probably go Tar Heels here, even with this, just because they're in the desperation spot and they're fighting for their postseason lives. Florida State is all over the place. I know we've hit on a lot on this show over the past couple of weeks, where you got half the team suing the coach. You got the coach in, they're forcing him into retirement. They're forcing him into retirement at the end of the year. So the fan turnout's been terrible in Tallahassee. So you're just all over the place here. So I think even right now in game, I think you lay that number with Carolina.
Yeah, I think so too. Michigan laying 1.5 at Nebraska. I thought this would be a higher scoring game. I was telling David at the top of the show, I'd like the over out of all the plays, 150.5, but it may take triple overtime. 19-16, Michigan leading, 4 minutes left to go first half. Michigan's laying 3.5, over under is down to 131.5.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agreed with you on the total side, but I did like the play in the game. I went with Nebraska at home. This is kind of a fascinating one, just because you have Nebraska who's sitting there fighting for their postseason lot, fighting for the Big Ten championship and the 1 seed overall in the Big Ten tournament. But to me, Nebraska is just so good at home under Fred Hoiberg. He's got this program rolling at home there. So I think I was actually getting a point last night when I bet this, but yeah, I went with the Cornhuskers. I'm kind of fascinated by that matchup just because the way that Nebraska, they're kind of opposites. Nebraska's a terrible rebounding team. Michigan's good rebounding team. Nebraska can shoot the 3 pretty darn well. So I went with the Cornhuskers at home with that crowd.
Mm-hmm. Dave, you there? You got a question you want to pop in?
I missed part of the conversation. But what were you discussing as far as what team playing for the number 1 seed?
We did the 2 game. We did North Carolina game, and we just touched on Michigan, Nebraska. So we haven't touched on the games that have yet to get underway.
Well, okay, obvious. Cole, good to see you. We're good to go, Scott. I think so. Let's hold it together the rest of this show. Houston and Texas Tech. Houston just continues to be impressive, and a lot of people keep betting against them. The number moved so far on Saturday against Iowa State. The number has already moved today a couple points. You put up 1.5 with the road team, and you go, all right, they're going to bet you the dog. And they didn't. It's 3.5. Houston wins again tonight. Is it that easy?
I disagree. Now, I do think that number movement, I think you can even see a 4 out there or something like that. But Chance McMillan, who missed the game on when was that one? When they took on WV Saturday. He's a game time decision. And I was a little weary of is the line movement because he might not play, because obviously being a game time decision. But I'll tell you this.
Now. 4.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I like taking Texas Tech here. We saw revenge game, but do you guys remember that game? And like, JT Toppin got kicked out of that game. Their best player, they won without their best player at Houston. He's available tonight. He's good to go. So I think you're going in there. That we know that environment is, to me, one of the best in the Big 12, one of the best in college basketball. I just feel like Houston's just been going through this gauntlet. They're due to lose one of these road games. It didn't happen at Arizona. I think it's here. I like taking the Texas Tech Red Raiders at home.
All right. Any faith in Kansas laying 6.5 on the road at Colorado, a bad Colorado team. We know that, but they did win their last game and have actually won 2 of their last 3, Colby.
Yeah, Tad Boyle, former Kansas Jayhawk player himself and coach too. So Colorado, I was on the wrong side of that. I took Baylor. I knew that line stunk, but I still thought, I don't care. Baylor's just way better. But I like Kansas in the rebound here. Like, first off, Colorado and Kansas. Like, Colorado, I know they had a series outside of them leaving the Big 12 when they went to the Pac-12, but Kansas has just had their number for the most part. Colorado is a team that to me is still inexperienced. They lost all their veterans from a year ago, whether NBA draft or whether transfer portal. So I like Kansas. They're kind of in that desperate spot too. Now I think they're fine to make the NCAA tournament. They have a win over Duke and everything, but they're all over the place. And I just think they're looking for continuity. They're looking for consistency. And I think they made a statement the other day against Oklahoma State. I think they continue that here at Boulder against a Colorado team that's just really not that good.
I mean, tomorrow there's a big slate of games, and I wanted to ask you quickly, like, Tennessee had a big game over the weekend, that win at Texas A&M. They're going to go play a bad team. Florida's playing a bad team tomorrow in Georgia. Duke's playing Miami, which is another bad team. How much does that come into your handicap? Like, is there a letdown spot? Do you go, this might be one of those games where, because they ain't losing those games. Those teams aren't losing, but they're all going to be massive favorites. You take a dog in that spot, or you just kind of let it go?
Yeah, I'll probably take a couple dogs there, but there's one that I think catches my eye more than the others, and that would be Georgia. Florida-Georgia is a rivalry game. It's a little bit different than Miami-Duke or Tennessee-LSU. Like, there's a history of chippiness between and let's not forget, Georgia's sitting head coach Mike White was fired by Florida. So I like taking the dogs there at home. They've played great at home. They've been terrible on the road, but give me the dogs and the points there in that matchup. I think they're live too. You want to sprinkle.
Yeah, I think that's the one where the one team is covered like 13 in a row. I think it was Georgia over Florida, but then Florida whacked them in game number 1. So yeah, that's a Mike White angle. Not bad at all. Colby, great job as always, my friend. We'll do it again soon, no doubt. Colby Dan, College Experience Podcast. Check it out. Thanks, Colby.
Anytime, guys.
Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Again, thanks Kobe Dan for joining us as he does from time to time, usually on Fridays, every once in a while toward the course of the week as well. So do appreciate talking with Kobe. Hopefully you get a couple of winners for us tonight. A little NBA day. We haven't touched too much on that. Check out some of the scores here because there were some monster over-under numbers. You know, we touched on that last week, how these numbers are going through the roof. Denver and Indiana was close to 250. It was 246 and a half. It's 89-79, still in the third quarter. It's a crazy pace, but it is a little bit lower than what the original line was, 241 and a half. But there was a game this weekend. Which one? It was an Indiana game. Indiana versus Detroit. I think it was Detroit. And the number was crazy, right? And the pace was crazy. And it was crazy after the first quarter, crazy after the second quarter, crazy after the third quarter. And then they were still giving you an over-under for the fourth quarter that was less than 60 points from what it was at the end of three. And I remember talking with Joe Madden, who was hosting with me. We're like, Joe, this is crazy. They've scored 70 points in every quarter. Now they're giving us an over-under in essence of like 56 and a half for a fourth quarter. And the thing blew by the number. It wasn't even close. So that was it. Yes, not Indiana. Right. Yeah, in regulation.
So we'll go from there. Yeah, the in-game numbers are going to get really interesting. We'll have fun for the next couple weeks here because the variance is huge. I mean, there's games that will be on a pace early. You have to move that number way up, and then they'll just either come to a screeching halt, something will happen, and it will go under. Otherwise, trying to find that top, the ceiling of a number in game in the NBA, good luck.
Yeah.
You I like how you break it down by quarters. And that's a good way to do it, right? They scored this in the first quarter. They scored this in the second quarter. They're on pace to score this in the third. So the number in the fourth should be X. When it's not, you might find a betting opportunity.
Yeah. There are certain teams that, okay, things maybe will slow down in the fourth quarter, but the proverbial thinking of, okay, it's fourth quarter and these guys are going to start playing defense, forget about it. Whether it's Atlanta, Cleveland, Indiana, these teams are not all of a sudden starting to play defense in the fourth quarter. And like I said, you were getting numbers that were 56 and a half. Like, what are they, crazy? I know it's hard to go over, 170, 172. But I was telling Joe, I was like, Joe, there's no way these teams are going to score less than 57 points all of a sudden. And like you said, it blew by way past the numbers. So, OKC's up 9, Dave. I tell you what, this team is a freaking machine. I know I don't want to put words in your mouth, generally adhere to these philosophies, but OKC to me is just an automatic play at home. I mean, who wants to lay 12 and a half, right? This is the worst spot in the world. They played last night in Minnesota, close game. Now they got to hop on a plane, both the teams, obviously, go down to Oklahoma City. OKC won yesterday, and now you're laying 12, 11 and a half, 12. And yet Oklahoma City, 15-4-1 against the spread, their last 20 at home. This is the worst spot you can come up with. And they're already leading by 11 midway through the second quarter. And now they're asking to lay 14 and a half. They're amazing.
The only problem with them when we're laying that number tonight is that, they have the game in hand and Minnesota, comes back and loses by 12 or 10 or something, it falls right just inside the number. I don't think OKC is proven they're on a mission. OKC is deep. They got the star, probably the MVP of the league. They got a coach who knows they lost in the playoffs last year. I mean, they're motivated every night. So they're trying to score 100. I feel like they're trying to score 130 every night. Now, they scored that last night. It wasn't enough to cover. The NBA is a little different than it was years ago. And that's fine. Like, buckling down and playing defense isn't as important as shooting more threes. Let's score more. That's how we play defense. Game ends 130 to 123. That's 253 points. It's a lot of points. OKC is one of those teams. Yeah, I think, I don't want to say an automatic, but you have to consider them every night, especially at home.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at home. I like Detroit tonight. You know, this Clipper team, it's kind of, boy, it surprised everybody. I thought they were going to be awful. They lose George. They lose Kawhi. They played terrific for the first half of the season, but boy, they've hit a wall. I was surprised they were basically pick them today. You lay in there getting 2.5, 1.5, 2.5 at Detroit. Pistons, one of the best spread teams in the NBA, although now they're like being asked to be favorites. A lot of that was them as underdogs, but I did like Detroit, and they're up 70-67, right?
The Clippers carry some weight in the odds maker community and the better community. Like their number, you're waiting for the Clippers to be good. And I think it weighs into the number. So Pick'em was probably fair. Close Detroit -2.5. We'll see. You probably, I was going to say, you look like you're on the right side so far. Nothing exceptional from either team shooting-wise. Biggest lead for both teams is 5 and 6. So this one's going to come down to, I don't think anyone's going to run away and hide, but I think Detroit's going to cover.
Yeah. They've won 6 in a row, Pistons. The goofy Pistons going for the 7th straight win. How about Philadelphia? They're now down. Keep in mind, Philadelphia at home, hosting the team that's lost 6 in a row, albeit through the break. They're down 28, 95-67 midway through the third quarter to the Chicago Bulls.
We need to know who's responsible for that number. Philadelphia -5.5. I'm just kidding.
Right.
I would say that in the odds maker room. Who made that number? Who did that?
Out the door, buddy. Black Cloud coming up next.
Yeah, Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back in-game live game day here on the grid. Flying by, fast first hour, but we're not done just yet. Time for our Black Cloud play of the day. Ah, yes, this is the play where you double, who knows, maybe even triple your play. Instead of putting $1, really open up that wallet, put $3 on it because it can't lose. Love this play tonight. It's one of our regulars. Houston versus Texas Tech should be a war up and down. If you watch Houston, Iowa State this past weekend, I told you that would be a low-scoring game, and it wasn't even close to going over. You got a similar number here, 131.5. May have dropped down to 130.5, depending on where you do your shopping, but we're not getting 132 points, folks. Houston, not necessarily an over-under, strong-under team because their numbers are so low, but they crawl the ball up the court. We know that. Texas Tech, 5-1 under their last 6 at home. Their best player, kind of like what Iowa State, probably not playing tonight. This has got 65-60, maybe written all over it. 132 points doesn't sound like a lot until you start reading out the scores that go under. 67-63, 65-60, 70 to 60. You know, there's a lot of ways to get under that 131.5. I don't think it gets to 132 points. I really don't. Under 131.5 or 130.5, Houston at Texas Tech, Dave.
How does it go over? You know, we have to ask that question all the time when talking about plays, even the Black Cloud. What gets us here? I mean, I think the game's going to be competitive, as the line would suggest. I don't know why the line flew to 4.5 from 1.5 today, so I'm a little worried about that. But how does this game go over? Because I'm with you. I also like the under. We've been talking about Houston and under a lot this season.
Yeah.
How's this one go over?
The only way, you know, if one team pulls out in front, and I'll say Houston just because they are the better team and the line did go in their favor. So I'm assuming maybe someone's not out or someone's not playing for Texas Tech, right? So Houston jumps out to an early lead. And then Texas Tech at home especially makes a little bit of a run. And they're in a foul mode at the end of the game, and it goes over that way. But I will say, watching a lot of Houston games, because I play their unders all the time, They don't do that. Like other teams do. But when Houston gets the lead, they shut it down. They don't say, okay, boys, go run up and down the court and go put 85 on the board. When they're playing their real A game, they're up 60-40, and they start crawling the ball up the court. And they don't get until, there's certain teams that do. St. Mary's is one. St. Peter's is another. Can't tell you how many unders I've lost on those two dopey teams, because of blowouts in the second half. So, but that would be the only way. Houston jumps out to an early lead. And they let their guard down a little bit. Texas Tech at home, nationally televised games. They're not going to give up, right? And maybe it sneaks over the number, 70-65, something like that.
Right. Oh.
That'd be the only way.
I'm concerned if Texas Tech wins, I think the game goes over. That's the way I'm looking at it. Right? I think if Texas Tech wins, the game goes over. Houston, I'm good with them clamping down, shutting down, everything, dominating on the boards a little bit. Houston can keep the game under, right? First team to 70 wins. Although if it gets too much, does the winning team have 70 in this game?
Well, I'll tell you, Texas Tech's team total is 63.5. Houston's is 67.5.
Right, 68.
So probably
perfect.
Not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. If somebody gets 70, we may be in trouble.
Right.
Overtime
we're in
gets
trouble,
it.
Yeah.
Overtime.
Oh,
gets
forget
us.
overtime. Although, you know what? I had a winner yesterday. Drake, Northern Iowa. I don't know if you saw the end of that game, right? Big game in the Missouri Valley, right? Yeah. So Missouri Valley. Drake's down 1. They foul. Kid from Northern Iowa hits 1 of 2 free throws with 9 seconds left. So now Northern Iowa's up 2. Drake gets the ball, comes down, throws up a 3 at the buzzer. No good. Everyone storms the court. Game over. And my overtime bet, no good, right? But they go to review, and they say he was fouled with 0.1 seconds left as the defender kind of ran into him. Not a typical hit-your-arm foul. Guy was taking a three-pointer. 88%. Yeah, 0.1 second left, right? Wow. He's an 88% free throw shooter. I need him to miss, at least 2 or make all 3. He makes 2 of the 3. They go to overtime, but they only score 11 points or 12 points in overtime, and the game still goes under the 126.5 by 2 points. So, not bad. Not bad. Hour number 2 coming up next.
Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Flying along, but fast show. Scott and Dave until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Cam and Gabe will take over top of the hour. Cam will join us in about 45 minutes or so. We'll go over some of the picks. So you think you can bet the sports, right? Think you can win in gambling, especially the NHL. That's the easiest by far, right? Let us go to the limited hockey board, Dave. So we have 7 minutes and 30 seconds or so left in the second period. Winnipeg, which was a minus, you saw 550 favorite today over the god-awful biggest waste of human flesh in hockey uniforms, east, west, north, and south of the Mississippi, is leading Winnipeg still 1-0. They got this dude in net. You know, I knew he was the former New Jersey Devil, Vanacek. He sucks. He's got a goals against average of 4.1. He's got a save percentage of 8.78. Nobody in the NHL has a save percentage less than 900. You and I could be in goal and have a save percentage of more than 900. This guy's under that. He's 3-11. He's got a goals against of 4+, and he's shutting out not only Winnipeg, the best team in hockey standard-wise, standings-wise, but a team that's won, oh, by the way, 9 in a row, and it's at Winnipeg. I mean,
did we just transport back to Friday? That sounded like the award-winning segment of Opposite Picks. Your face got red. You had all that energy. God,
It's frustrating. I count on this stuff. I count on that to be a winner. This way I can play the goofy games that we play later on because that's going to be the winner.
It's a white knuckle ride, okay? You better get this thing tied before the end of the second. Otherwise, you get the belief in these young kids for San Jose, despite them being on a 5-game losing streak. I mean, it's down to minus what? Minus
this seems
130 right now. The Sharks are on a power play.
That's why.
The 16-13 shots on goal for Winnipeg is 16. Sharks is 13. It's just gonna. I mean, listen, just hold on. If you got Winnipeg,
I'm doing it. Give me Winnipeg again. I got a minus a goal and a half.
Oh,
yeah,
boy,
well, the
here he goes.
goal and a half has got to be a loser, right? So let's double down. Let's 146 against San Jose. 37. Where's the goofy standings? What do they got?
Right,
37 points. The worst by far in hockey.
Yep.
They've given up the most goals, 219 goals. Their goal differential is minus 69. That is 20 worse than the second worst place team, which is Chicago. I mean, this team, hands down, is just brutal. And they're winning against Winnipeg, which has the second most points. Washington winning yesterday has 84. They have 83. And they've won 9 in a row. And they're at home.
All right.
Doubling down. All right,
minus
let's test your
135 here. Here we go. All right. This is going to be fun.
Now? I got a minus 140.
Yeah, I got minus 135.
All right, let's test your sports wagering prowess.
Excellent.
You name the point spread. Here we go. College basketball. I got 2 games for you.
Okay.
I have one team. The road team is 3-25, 1-16. Right, 1-16 in conference play.
Is this Sam Houston State again?
No, it's not them again. We got even worse. All right, they're on the road now. This one's not as bad as the first one, but still 3-25, 1-16 in conference play. They're on the road at a team that's 4-24, 2-15 in conference play. What do you think the point spread is? And oh, by the way, the road team has lost 6 in a row. And they did lose. They lost by 9 earlier in the year to this team.
Wow. So what do you have what that number was?
Yep.
What was that number? The road game. Head to head.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry. No, I don't have that number.
Okay. All right. So the home team got a slightly better record and they're at home.
Right.
A bucket? -3.
How about the home team, an underdog? Not by a lot. 1.5.
Yeah,
East Texas A&M, our favorite little basketball team. 3-25, 1-16 in conference play is a 1.5 point favorite. I wouldn't make them a 1.5 point favorite over Topeka High. I know New Orleans stinks. They're 4-24, but last time I checked, 4-24 and 2-15 is better than 3-25 and 1-16, and they're the home team.
There's obviously no home court advantage there at all.
You can make the game.
When I said a bucket, I mean 2 or 3 either way. That's where you start it.
Right.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. I can see it.
All right, New Orleans. Go ahead.
Do you want New Orleans? Do you want New Orleans in that spot? You'll take the 2.5.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
They are winning 69-61. They were trailing before, but they're up. They're up 8 with 4 minutes left. All right, here's another one.
Please.
Road team. I know you love this stuff. Road team. This one's really. Okay.
I do love.
Road team is 5-24. Right.
Okay.
0-14, winless in conference play. They're on the road against a team that's 7-22, 5-11 in conference play. And the home team beat the road team this season by 5 on the road. So 5-24, winless in conference play. at 7-22, 5-11 in conference play, and the home team beat the road team earlier, albeit by 5.
So are you going to tell me the road team was favored in this? The road team was favored in those.
1.5. Our second favorite little team, Bellarmine. I looked it up. It's not Bellarmine or Bellarmine. At least on YouTube, some guy was saying Bellarmine.
Bellarmine
in Louisville, Kentucky.
That's
Bellarmine.
All right. That's news to me. I mean, but they say Louisville.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah,
it might be that, but there might be an accent involved. How
could they be favored, Dave? How in the world could you make a team that's winless in conference play a favorite? Over, 7-22 is not good, but it's not 3-25.
You can book these games with an opinion too. Like you can make it so you put a number hoping that somebody bets the other side. I mean, there's all this stuff talking about, yesterday you saw my tweet about the poker tournament in Cherokee in Tennessee. Guy flipped the table, he got mad, all this other stuff. You can't control your cards, but you can control the way you bet it. So same thing with the lines. If me and you and Vinny and Preston sit around and talk and say, listen, this Bellarmine or Bellarmine or Bellarmine, however you want to say it, we don't want to need them. We don't want to make it the other side the favorite. See what they do with it. Like keep them off it. So that's how that works. At 1.5, you can't really get hurt,
Right.
So it doesn't make sense all the time, but listen, some of these totals none of it's supposed to make sense sometimes.
I will tell you, Stetson rallies second half and wins by 2 over Bellarmine. How about that?
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. All right, let's go back to the NBA board. Although I will say Winnipeg starting a power play here. Just out of curiosity, I bet it's Pick'em. They're favored even. Wow. They got the Jets minus 148 unless they scored a goal and FanDuel's yet to register it. Probably not, because they'd probably be like minus 3 and change if they actually tied it at 1. All right, moment of truth here.
Come on.
Minus
Come
148.
on, Scott. We need a goal. I want to hear the goal horn. We need a goal.
I tell you, we get the goal. At over 3.5 is not a bad little play, because then you need obviously at least 3 goals. You'd have a whole period to get one more goal. Maybe the Avalanche would start, and Winnipeg would, end up winning this thing 4-1 when everything is said and done. But all right, let's just settle on a goal for this dopey Winnipeg Jets team. Unbelievable.
I mean, do we have Hellebuck in that tonight?
I was just thinking the same thing. He's got to be, because he didn't play over the weekend. Yeah. So I mean,
and he's in.
Can't blame him.
Boys.
Just giving up one goal.
Come on.
So
18 saves, 8 shots. Let's go.
Yeah.
Did you have an opinion about the Knights and the Kings coming up later?
It's kind of weird. Winnipeg, LA is great. I tell you what, they are phenomenal at home. You wouldn't think that they would be like one of the best home teams, but they are. It's weird. The 13-2 last 15 at home, 18-5 last 23 at home. I don't like these games, though, Dave, because the series is contrarian to what the LA Kings and Vegas Golden Knights are. So it's kind of weird. Both are strong under teams. Vegas 5-1 under their last 6. Kings are strong unders, right? But the series is 11-2 over. Natural rivalry, not that far apart, obviously, right? So they clearly get up for each other. 5.5. I know I bet them a couple of times this year. And both games went over, if memory serves me right. So good game to maybe just watch and bet on the team that falls behind 1-0. Or I'll take the Kings. No, I'll take the Kings at home and pick them.
If you take a stab pregame, it's probably on the Kings. That's why I'm wearing the Kings stuff.
Right.
This is an old school
nice
Gretzky. Yeah, I love this jersey. And then come back with the Knights in game. And you get a nice price on a plus and try to middle and do all that other stuff that a lot of people are talking about doing on a nightly basis with the basketball. This will be tied again after 0-0. So you'll be able to kind of do that. Expect it to be a close game. I don't know if you're going to get a guy to stand on his head like they are in Winnipeg. I mean, our guy only gave up 1 goal. We're trailing. Right. This is going to be a stress. This is going to be, all right, no, it looks like no goal before the end of the period for us. I thought we would get a goal there. We didn't get a goal on the power play, Wetzel. No good.
Typical Connor Hellebuck, doing just enough to lose. Can't blame him. Not his fault. Only gave up 1. I get it. But you know what? He lost again.
It's not over yet. It's only the second period. Did you see the guy in Chicago retiring, the Oregon guy? They played the national anthem yesterday. Yeah, so the coolest one of the coolest hockey moment scenes happens in Chicago with the anthem. They cheer it, they go crazy.
Pregame, yeah.
With the pregame, yeah. Wayne Messmer used to be the singer, for those of you back in the day. But like the singer did a great job. But it's the last time the guy was 33 years playing the organ at the hockey games and at the basketball games. Now he went from Chicago Stadium to the United Center. I love the organ at baseball games, at hockey games. You a big organ guy?
Oh yeah. See what they're doing at Stanky Stadium?
What?
They're and I've always, and I said this on the podcast today, I've always kind of wondered about this, even as like a little kid. They're no longer going to play like New York is the Yankee theme song, if you want to call it that, right? So they play that after every single game. So players, for whatever reason, got upset and said, no, we don't want that played after we lose. We don't want people celebrating a loss. So they're only going to play the organ, the theme song, after wins, which I actually think is pretty as a fan going to a bunch of games, I always said that, like, why are you playing, the celebratory song? You lost. You got crushed 7-1, and you're playing the same song. So they announced that yesterday.
From the song. It takes away from the song. I asked K-Dub about that, And, he's a Yankee fan, but he doesn't go to a lot of games, he said. But one of the endearing moments lasting for me last year was when the Dodgers won the World Series at Yankee Stadium. And after they did the little celebrations and whatever, they were playing New York, New York on the way out for people.
I bet where it started.
They said, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Tonight, like, just tell the guy, take the night off. We're not playing it. So somebody must have led to something in a meeting and this and that. Now you could grow beards, and we'll play different songs after we lose. So it's fine. But I specifically remember it. I don't know if we were on when it happened or we talked about it the next day. I know Matt and I did. We were laughing. We're like, why? There's no reason to play it. Now, they play I Love L.A. in Dodger Stadium. As soon as the last pitch goes or the last guy catches the ball, they're playing that song. So
win, lose, or draw?
Play that. No, just after wins.
Okay.
Just after wins. Yeah, just after wins. Do you have a victory song? Like when you have a really good dinner at home, or like you got all the garbage out on one trip or something? Like, what is your victory song? What is the Wetzel, like, you're walking in the house to your music? What's your song?
Yeah. The Red Sox song is what's his face there, Sweet Caroline. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I really have one though. Yeah, strumming along. Yeah, nah, I don't think so. I'm not a big music guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like music, but do I have one that kind of stands out? I don't think so.
We've talked about so many different things, like Bruce Hornsby in the range. I figured you would dial one up there.
Yeah, I do like that.
Take Me
It's
Home,
kind of what but I don't have
Roads.
one. Oh, well, the John Denver. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Johnny D.
Huh?
Yeah, John Denver.
I figured that's where I pegged you for. Yeah. 2 of those.
Yeah. Country Roads. Yeah. That would be the one. That would be the one. Little Johnny Cash, maybe?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the 2 best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four, because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat, because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome back in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, 20 past the hour of number 2. We got Cam Stewart coming up in about 20 minutes or so. So take a peek at some of the scores here, Dave. NBA, it's all but over in Philadelphia. 138-98. Bulls lead by 40. 40 went up from the 30 we looked at earlier, laying 37 with 2.5 minutes left. Denver and Indiana did not go over. Remember, I'm pretty sure that was 146, 146.5. It ends up 125, 116. They had about 35, 40 seconds left, and Indiana decided not to foul, down 9. I get it, but there's the fickle fate. If they foul, Denver goes to the free throw line. They probably hit 2 free throws. Indiana gets the ball. They get an oh-by-the-way bucket, and the game goes over. So it's just, fickle fate of gambling sometimes. And that one, if you had the over, did not go your way.
If you had, if you had Denver, though, you win.
Yep.
Wow.
Pistons winning by 7.
Yeah, Pistons are up. I got them up, 95-88. Less than 4 minutes to go. OKC Thunder. You see that score? 72-53.
Wow.
9.5 minutes left. OKC. Yeah.
Gotta bet them.
Real deal. That's
and you know what? Next game, they play. Let me see who they play next. Right? They play at Brooklyn. All right, then they got at Atlanta, at San Antonio, so pretty easy. Jeez. So they'll probably be like a 15-point favorite, right? And you'll say, well, I can't lay 15. I'll wait till next game. And then they win by 20. And then they play the Hawks, and the Hawks stink. They've lost 8 of 9. I can't lay 15 against the Hawks. And then they win by 20. You keep on finding reasons not to bet them, and yet all they do is cover the 47-10. They're going to be, unless they blow this lead, which is, not going to happen. 47. That is a great year. Really, just a phenomenal year.
At the Hawks, at the Spurs. I mean, double-digit favorites in all 3. I don't know how much. What do you make the total at the Hawks? 255?
Look at Atlanta's game tonight. Look at the Hawks game tonight. Go figure the Atlanta Hawks. Right? 82-73. If I told you that, you'd say halftime? Maybe was that a halftime score? Second quarter?
That's a third quarter score just getting underway, right? We got half the third quarter left.
Midway through the fourth quarter. 82-70 against Miami, but still, this is not, Miami with Jimmy Butler and, Alonzo Mourning. This is, so every once in a while, Atlanta will throw out a clunker like this, although they're winning. So I can't even say it's a clunker. When they want to play defense, they can.
232.5.
Wow.
It was 232.5. So that was a little bit higher than normal for Miami games, but obviously a little bit lower for Atlanta games. The NBA is going to be quite the ride the rest of the way here. There's going to be a lot of nights where we're wondering, what the hell is this number? Why is this number this? I mean, give me teams, again, playing meaningful basketball, let alone for position, for the seeding, and actually caring. Like tomorrow night, I'm excited. Dallas is playing the Lakers. Okay?
Right.
We get
it's a big
what do we get
the Luka game
from that? Right? That's a good basketball game. The Lakers and Luka looked great on Saturday. I mean, not good, great. Smoked Denver in Denver. 123-100 was the final. I mean, Golden State was 9.5 against Dallas yesterday. What are the Lakers? Same number? Got to be at least 8, I would think.
Yeah. FanDuel's got an early line. 8. Hit it on the button.
Still got it.
8.
Look at that.
Still got it.
Still got it. Just like that. It's like a magic act sometimes. Wow. That's a perfect number. I mean,
Luka's points. Someone said 30.5. I don't think it's that high.
It is. 29.5. 29.5.
30.5.
Right? Yeah, okay. Does he score 30 or not? That's the question. Wow.
That's a lot of points.
There's your idea for the segment, Vinny. We'll play Guess the Number. something like
Yeah,
that.
guess
Right?
the number.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll see.
That's not a bad idea. Kind of like that. Whether it's my dopey college basketball games or Luka. Does he go for 31? That'll be interesting tomorrow.
I would think so. Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun tomorrow. Yeah. All right, more coming up. In-game live game day on the grid.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time, because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally taking, he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live, game day here on the grid. Halfway through hour number 2, little NBA, little hockey. We're in between second and third periods with the Winnipeg Jets still trailing 1-0 to San Jose. Believe it or not, they'll drop the first puck here in a little bit. Got our good buddy TJ Thomas Betts, one of my podcast crew. I was 0-2 yesterday. He writes in or tweets in, I need a wartime consigliere. So he needs a winner from you. He's bypassing me straight. Wetzel's no good. Let's go right to the source. So we need to hand him out a winner before we're through. So It's like we're sitting on a bag full of winners. But for you, TJ, we'll do it. So why not?
All right, TJ. Yeah, we'll look. I mean, the Wizards are going to hold on, it looks like, against the Nets. That was interesting. I don't know if we can jump in there. I don't think you have enough time. Yeah, this is going to be tough. I mean, look, it's looking lean the rest of the night tonight. I can't even advocate taking the T-Wolves plus a zillion points. 21.5. Can you do that? You want to do that? You want to go to war with that? I don't know if we can go to the mattresses with that one. I don't think so.
Yeah. How about the Hawks under? Let's add this up. 86-78. That's 164. They're giving you 193. Are they going to score 30 points in 6 minutes? That's a decent pace. That's not on the pace they're in. That's 100, to 100 pace. Clearly, we're not going to get that tonight.
You got about a minute to decide because they take off the total at the 5-minute mark, and there's 5:55 left in the game. So if you're going to go under 193.5, you better do it now, TJ.
I would do that. I don't think they're getting 194 points. You might get some fouling in the end, but this is not college. They don't, generally do that. So, barring a couple of, threes, I don't think they're scoring 30 more points in 6 minutes. That's just not what they've done anyway. Unless you want to hop on my SGP, same game parlay with Charlotte and Sacramento. I tell you, if you wanted one, I would bet the Youssef rebounds. Like I said, he's had 4 games with Charlotte. He's had 8 rebounds or more in each one of the 4 games. They're giving you a 7.5 minus 130. Now, he has had 8 a couple times, so it's been close. But I think you're going to get a big-time effort out of Charlotte just because they lost by 50-plus last game. So that would be my best bet.
How about an under in the college game? We got a little bonus because it started out a little quick. Yeah. Houston and Texas Tech under 138.5 is what I got right now. So I like that. I don't think they get to 140. You might have to sweat the 131 Black Cloud play of the night. But I like under 138.5. You better play it now because if they don't score in this possession, it's going to go down. Well, it looks like they just scored.
So figures. Yeah. How about Michigan, Nebraska, Dave? I don't have that game on. 37-37 with 7 minutes left. This had a starting line of 150.5. We're at 104.5. Are we going to get 31 points in the final 7 minutes of a tie game, which, a team could pull away and we can get some of that goofy fouling in the end? But, this looks like it's going to be a one-possession game. If it is, then we're not getting 30 points, 31, really. We're not getting 31 points in the final 6.5 minutes. Why would we? We barely got 31 points in 20 minutes, let alone 6.
So both teams have shot the ball 50 times, okay? Michigan has made 15 of them. That's 15 of 50 is 30%. Nebraska has made 14 of them. 14 out of 50 comes to 28%. 3 of 20 from the threes for Michigan. Just keep chucking them, boys. Maybe they'll go in. 5 of 23 for Nebraska. There's no way in hell we get to 106.5. I don't think so. I think, that's a number right now I got here, 106.5. The only way you're losing this one is overtime. TJ, get it now because you got 5:53 left and the clock is ticking. They're going to take that total off the board. So you got literally 30 seconds to a minute to make a play. I'd bet under that.
Yeah, OT would be the only one. And heck, like yesterday with the Drake Northern Iowa game, that could go to overtime and still might not get it because it's so low.
Maybe.
Or the shooting is so bad. Wow. These are two teams that are, on the bubble, right? That or especially Nebraska anyway, that you would think would be all primed and geared up today and shoot like that. Wow. That's awful.
Michigan, you catch them off of losing at home to Michigan State. That's why I was kind of leaning Michigan myself. Right. We'll see. Michigan's in. They're not going to – they're 12th team in the country. They're in. They're not on the bubble. If you think they're on the bubble, that's a wrong bubble.
Nebraska. I meant Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska's on the bubble. Listen, they don't have to let everybody in either. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We have to make some hard decisions. Teams don't have to get in. North Carolina won 96-85 at Florida State, closes a 2.5-point favorite.
Covered. Nice.
Covered. And let's see, 181. That game closed 155.5. So way over the total. North Carolina, they're not getting in a tournament, are they? They literally got to win the rest of their games. They're not getting in.
Well, they're 18-11. They've won 4 in a row now, 5 of 6. Let me check their schedule here. They have Miami. That's a win at home. Yep. Virginia Tech, probably a win. And then they close out with the Dookie Pukies, which at this point, they're probably not winning. Yeah.
Not winning.
So how many good wins do they have? They lost against Kansas. They lost against Auburn. They lost against Alabama. They lost against Michigan State. They lost against Florida. They've beaten anybody any good. They lost to Louisville. They beat UCLA 1-6. Lost to the Dookie Pukies 1-7. Lost to Clemson 1-8. No. They're 1-8 against real teams. Wow.
Yeah, that's not a good resume. Despite the fact that both look good in that blue, And,
That's right.
hopefully,
North Carolina
right?
blue.
That North Carolina blue. Always, it works. I like that blue. I think, hopefully we'll see Cam in that blue soon enough. When, you guys
My
are all
favorite car
coordinating.
was baby blue. My Monte Carlo or Firebird rather. Yeah, the old.
What color was the interior?
Gray, light gray.
Yeah.
The only
baby!
bad thing,
I can see you wheeling around the island in that thing, huh?
Oh yeah, little Deer Park Ave, Guido Way, up and down. I was right with them. Oh yeah. It's about a mile stretch. You just went one way south, you came back, and you did it all over again. Right, press all the chicks.
For hours.
The only bad thing,
for hours you did that.
Yeah, that was a Saturday night. That was it. Yeah. The only bad thing is every day, Dave, I swear, no lie, I used to wake up and there'd be bird crap all over my car because the birds would think it's water. So they're pooping as they're flying over my car. They're crapping all over my car.
Because of the color. Yeah,
because of the color. But
we used to do that at a place called South Park. There was this drive that literally it was like you said, it was like a mile and a half. Then you do a U-turn, you come back.
Right.
And I always had the sound system booming a little bit. I had a Volkswagen Cabriolet convertible. We would keep the top down. Then they had a Toyota Celica convertible, had the top down, sunglasses on, hair flowing, just hoping you caught a glimpse of someone. You were hoping that they caught a glimpse of you, and then you could say, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" I mean, the kids wouldn't understand. We did this for hours. That's what we did.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
and it was fun. That was like boring, right? But it was actually
so
fun.
much fun.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah. Summer nights, baby.
Pistons win. Yeah, Pistons win 106-97 over the Clippers. That was a good play today. I'll tell you, this Clipper team is deader than dead, and the Pistons are on
Still
fire.
Still don't have a goal in Winnipeg.
Yeah, 2 minutes in, Winnipeg power play.
Let's
Final
go.
seconds of it.
Let's go.
We got about 25, 30 seconds. Come on, Jet. Cam Stewart coming up next.
You have Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally taking, he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What?
How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, as we welcome in our good buddy Cam Stewart, who takes over at the top of the hour. He's the San Jose better, so I'd be shocked if he didn't have a little something on the Sharks tonight, who continue to lead Cam 1-0. About 3 minutes into the third period as they killed off another Winnipeg Jets power play. How you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. Smells like some smelly fish. 2 games on the NHL card, minus 550. What's going on here? I didn't have the stone, Scott, and I'm honest. I could took San Jose plus 2.5 to plus money. I'm like, that's good enough for me. I didn't even think about taking these guys on the money line. As for the Jets, wow. What can you say about San Jose? They actually played Calgary really tough last night on a back-to-back, but then you think about it and go, who are the best players on their team? They're kids. They probably don't mind a back-to-back. Like the older teams are like, and there's going to be a lot of these back-to-backs, guys, with the condensed schedule after the 4 nations too. So this is a very interesting team. We'll see what San Jose does. They might be a play-on team down the stretch, as a lot of these other teams maybe, pad the leads or they falter a little bit down the line. But I really like the San Jose team. At least they're moving in the right direction. Live basketball, guys. Texas Tech, I'm watching them in Houston play right now, 25-23 for Houston. I take Texas Tech plus 6.5 live in this spot. I think they can win this game outright. Michigan's doing well. Late night action, I'm on Colorado. I worry a little bit about Kansas eventually turning on the switch, but I got a piece of Colorado plus 6.5 tonight against the Kansas Jayhawks at home. Late basketball. Hockey, guys, what are we going to do with the late night game? It's a straight pick 'em. Probably going to rock what you're rocking. Dave, when you're wearing the Kings gear, I don't know if you're doing a carrot top reversal on me. Are you betting the Kings or Vegas? What are you doing? I'm betting the Kings.
Like the Kings. Yeah, I like the Kings tonight. I do.
So do
and especially at home. There it is right there. I mean, they're 10-1 last 11 games versus Pacific Division. The game's probably in under the trend for the Knights. They're 5-1 to the under in the last 6. These teams play each other close all season. So, yes, be close. It might be a sweat, but I like the Kings.
Yeah, I'm on the Kings. Other stuff that we have going on. I got one from the NBA for you too, guys. This might not be a popular play, but live, I like the Utah Jazz plus 7.5 against Portland. Portland has been a great home dog for me, but this is a spot play tonight for Utah. I just think they keep this game close right now. It's 36-35. That live line caught my eye, and I'm hitting the Utah Jazz, guys. As you know, a lot of interesting things on my card tonight. I'm glad, hopefully, Michigan can get it done because I'm on them, and I know Morency will be on them against Nebraska as well, and we're coming up at 10 o'clock. We'll have more picks in-game live, and we'll see what's happening in this hockey game. Is it still 1-0 Sharks? Unbelievable. I'm on the under in this game, but I 2.5. I got to remind myself, Scott, and we don't do this enough, and winning bets, like, I got to stick to what we used to do. Like I used to play a lot more money lines. Like I'm always trying to get too safe now. Like take the 2.5 and do this and do that. Like if you're going to take that, you might as well sprinkle on the money line. I just didn't think Winnipeg's a pretty good team, but also coming out of the break, Connor was in that tournament. And then he didn't play the last game. Hellebuck, all these other guys. There's a lot of Jets players, right? And San Jose is just one of those teams that they're kind of licking their chops as a young club. And really enjoying playing hockey right now. Like they're live minus 160. They're unbettable now, but if you're on the Sharks early, that's a good bet. And I don't want to take Winnipeg at plus 130 right now. I'm not interested. This game feels like the Sharks are going to win.
So over the weekend, Saturday, Edmonton was the Capitals were short favorites against the Penguins Saturday. Then they were dogs at home Sunday against Edmonton, who lost to Philly on Saturday.
I was wrong on that one.
The Caps,
the Caps are on fire. They're unstoppable. They're unstoppable. They got great goaltending. They're all playing for Ovechkin. Dave, that bet we made with Ovechkin, the guy got 3 goals there. Like maybe the yes was the play. This guy, they're feeding him. And you know one thing about Ovechkin? He loves empty net goals. He loves padding stats. Yeah. And these guys are going to do it for him. Washington is scary as hell. They're not going away. Dave, I got to tell you, though, on Saturday, I played exactly that angle. Philadelphia murdered Edmonton, huge dog. Buffalo was up on the Rangers 5-0 before the game even started. They had it in my account. I'm like, can it get any better than this? But I'll tell you, I was wrong on that game. I go, Edmonton against Washington, coming off that loss against Philadelphia, they scored first, and then Washington just slapped them upside the head. The Capitals are disrespected in the market, and we bet on them this year, but not nearly enough. Man, they're a great hockey team.
Is it time to seriously consider for the Eastern Conference, the Caps, to win the Stanley Cup or to win the Eastern Conference? I think it's time. As we get closer to the end here.
Sorry, Scott, what were you saying? What was the number?
Six to one, fifth choice, just to win the East, let alone the Cup.
We could have got these 6-1. We could have got them a few weeks ago at 15-1. We missed the boat again.
I know.
I'm actually looking at the board going the Leafs at 7 or 7 plus 750 looks good. And you know how that ends. Me broke, crying. Doing this show, and I turned redder than I am now. Dave. Hey, Cam, what happened to the Leafs? I don't know what happened to the Leafs. Same old story. Hey, go in with low expectations. But we could have got Washington. At the start of the year, they were projected to be one of the worst teams. What is happening here? That's the beautiful thing about hockey compared to other sports. We're not going to get the Colorado Rockies in baseball, winning that.
No.
That's the thing. The Dodgers and the D-backs will do well. But that's the beautiful thing about the National Hockey League. Every year, kind of football too. In the NFL, we get that sleeper team that comes out of nowhere and goes on a Tootsie Roll, and they absolutely crush. So, hey, kudos to the Washington Capitals. They're playing together. They're getting goaltending. They're scary, Scott. But you got to admit, don't you guys agree? 6-1. They still haven't got to the playoffs yet and stuff. We need more than that. I think I hate to say it, that ship has sailed with me.
What about the other?
I don't want I don't want Winnipeg at all. I don't want one. You know who I want? I want Colorado as my bigger dog. That's who I want.
Oh,
in the West.
okay.
I want Colorado.
Look,
Listen, Edmonton might win the Stanley
Cup odds. You see that?
Yes.
Right?
When I look at the odds for Colorado, these guys are 15. And then I'm looking going, Edmonton's awesome, but their odds are horrible. But should they win? Maybe. But goaltending means everything. And Colorado has a lot of good players on their team. Big man, they got Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon and other guys on their team. And they're being priced like they're a joke. Don't sleep on the Colorado Avalanche. That's the value play, in my opinion. Because that Washington play, man, God, I'm shooting myself. I wish I had a piece of the Capitals right now.
I know.
Gabe and Cam, top of the hour. We'll continue to talk hockey, no doubt.
Thanks, guys.
Listen to the postseason. Thanks, Cam.
Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass game.
Duke is really great on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend, and that's why they win by big numbers all the time because they're really good on both ends of the floor. I don't trust Houston's offense.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I feel when I look at this Arizona team, I don't take them serious as a national title threat because you're asking Caleb Love to bottle magic that I just don't even think exists.
4.4, 6.6, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. This guy is literally he'll shoot you out of games, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
right, welcome back. In-game live, game day on the grid. Closing up shop, Cam and Gabe. Top of the hour. They'll take you over the next two right here on the grid. Things are taking a turn for the better for us outside of this goofy Winnipeg game, which is now still 1-0 with 10 minutes and change left to go in the third period. But Houston, Texas Tech has definitely slowed down. It's down to 134.5. I saw it as high as 140 and change. It opened at 131, 130 or so. So that's a minute and a half left to go in the first period there. 31-28, Houston on top. That's looking good. Less than 2 minutes left. Michigan 45-41. So clearly, well, listen, we've seen goofy things happen, but it's a two-possession game. So unless we hit overtime, it's going to go under the 104.5. They're not getting 20 more points in a minute 45 in a two-possession game. Four-possession game with the fouling you could, but I doubt you're going to get that, Dave. So that's looking halfway decent. And then we got the Kansas-Colorado 11 o'clock start. So we have another hour before that tips off. Cam's got a little flyer on Colorado. I think Colorado is going to be the play tonight. Kansas stinks on the road, and it's kind of reminds me of North Carolina, Florida State, where you have the named team, North Carolina and Kansas, playing the lesser team, Florida State and Colorado. Kansas needs to win, just like North Carolina kind of needs to win. North Carolina comes through. All the bettors are all saying, okay, North Carolina did it, so can Kansas. And now you watch Kansas. I don't know if they lose outright, but I got a feeling they don't cover the spread. They've been awful on the road this year. They're just not that good. And they played great over the weekend. I don't think that happens again. Nationally televised games. They'll be all pumped up in Colorado. Maybe Dion will be in the stands. Who knows? Give me Colorado the Buffs plus 6.5 too.
I like everything you said, but I'll take Kansas. They got to win a road game so bad. They are a mess. I mean, there was a story that came out that Self was talking to Oklahoma State about their opening last season. I saw it over the weekend. Just when you get a dog cornered in a room, like, a wounded animal, whatever, I expect the Jayhawks to win the game. So hopefully cover the spread. But I hope, I'm not betting it. So if you bet it, I hope you're right. 3-7 against the spread, last 10 road games, 0-4 run. Everything says, take the home dog. Sometimes those home dogs have fleas. I don't know. I don't like it. But again, it can be the right side. I'm kind of really hoping that the Jets tie the game before pulling a goalie. They don't want them to pull the goalie. They got to get a goal here. They're plus 200. So they were closed to minus 500. And in-game, they're plus 200. So you had to lay 5-1. You got 9 minutes left, and you can take 2-1. I still think that's a good bet. If you have any thoughts of what that line meant, or you have any value of what the line should be. But again, hockey is just like baseball. If you get a pitcher and it's his night, he can beat the Dodgers. He can beat the Yankees. You get a guy who's playing goal, made all the saves, pitching a shutout. I mean, Hellebuck, I wouldn't, if they call him to pull him, I'd be like, you know what? I'm staying in here. I'm not leaving. Go get a goal. We need a goal. We need a goal.
Crazy. They're offering me half my cash out. What should I do?
For the hockey game?
Back? Yeah. Got 8 minutes left.
And concede? No.
Concede.
Don't do it.
No?
We're not conceding. No. They're going to score. Now, see, Vinny even said it in our ear. No. We're not cashing out. But like just be prepared.
When the Germans took Pearl Harbor, they fought,
That was Animal House. Animal House, not Daddy Shack.
Same thing.
What the hell are you doing right now? No, we're not conceding because we're going to tie it.
Went way under. All right, go ahead.
We're going to tie the game. You just have to be prepared to lose in a shootout, which, again, could very well happen. Your guy that needed a play, it's 94-111 with 8 minutes to go with the Timberwolves. They're trailing. What's the other game we talked about? Cam liked the Jazz. That wasn't for me.
We gave out the under Atlanta. We gave out under Michigan, Nebraska, 45-44, 39 seconds left. We told them that. I still like Charlotte. I still like Charlotte plus, although I wouldn't go crazy with that one. But, that's the problem.
You like that game under?
13.
You like that game under? I can't see it.
Big defense.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Great show, boys. Let's go, Jets.
Come on.